Hi, Kristen. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, and oracle card advisor. Thank you for being patient with me. Anyway, I think you guys know how my readings work. You know, I see, I hear, I feel, blah, 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 all that stuff. And the spiritual charades, when they show me a picture, I'll describe it the best that I can to try to get their message across. Of course, they talk to me. This isn't an exact science. And lately, it seems like there's been messages like I do them. Here we go. It's not even Monday. This reading is between you and your dad, but it seems like lately the readings have branched off into kind of getting messages for other people in your family. Like, so if there's something you don't understand, write it down. You'll remember it later. You'll see it in a couple of days, or a family member will validate it for you. I honestly think that they're switching this up because they're trying to reach out to other people because they want everybody to know that they're still here. So I let them run the show. It's your show, but it's their show. So they tell us what we need to hear, not what we want to hear, basically. They know best, usually. I don't think I've ever had to shut one down yet. Shut them up, maybe. So, let's see what your dad's got to say. Oh, he's ornery. He's wanting to give you the raspberry. And then laughs. He's not doing that in a mean way. Oh, did he? I had this the other day. Did he used to give you a wet willy, what I call get your finger all wet and stick it in somebody's ear and wiggle it around? Or lick the side of your face? Act like he'd go and give you a kiss on the side of the face, and then he just oh, he thinks he's hysterical. I love it. He says he says, hell yes, the beer's good. He says, the bar is always open. It never closes up here. All right, I'm glad to know that before I get there. I'm going to need it. Now his energy just dropped down. He's getting serious. He says, I love you. I love you so much. He said, you made me the proudest man in the world. He said no, say it again. He said he saw you as a bright light. He saw you, and he's showing like a picture of you, and then it's like, I don't even want to say shooting stars. It's like, and it's funny because it's not all over you, but this is the way he's showing it. It's almost like, damn it, I can't describe it. It's like, okay, have you ever, oh, I'm sure you have, wore the little headband things, not to dress up or fix your hair, the kind that has the little decorations on them? That, okay, I wear them on St. Patrick's Day sometime, and they'll have like a shamrock on each little antenna. You know, you look like an alien. Only he's showing this as cricket on your head. Oh, covering my face up. That's probably a good thing. He's showing them like, well, damn it. He's showing them like over here, and they're but they're over on the side, and they have like a star on each little antenna, and they're really, really bright and they're sparkly. It's like there's actually a little light in them. So I'm not sure why he's showing it crooked, unless that maybe you did that at one point. And he's showing you sent me a couple pictures, and he's showing the picture of you in your wedding dress. And he says that was a glorious day. Glorious day. He said he couldn't take his eyes off of you. You were so beautiful. He's talking about a little bitty boy. Now he's running around. He's got a suit on. He's still showing the wedding dress. This little 3, 4-year-old, maybe 2. He's big enough to run around, but he's pretty little. And he's got a little vest on. Little suit vest. So he's acknowledging this little boy. Let's see where if we're going to go somewhere with this. He's showing the little boy like he's running away from him, not like in fear, not like he's scared of him, not that he's just playing. But he's dressed up at the wedding, but he's running. So I don't know if he's just acknowledging this boy, or if he's showing me that he tries to interact with this boy and he's ignoring him. I don't. Okay, I hear the little boy say, he kind of turns his head around and looks at your dad. He goes, I see you. I'm not going to talk to you right now. So all kids, the ones that I've run into anyway, in my experience, almost all little bitty kids can see them or hear them or something. And sometimes that's why they're afraid when they go to bed at night, because they see grandma or grandpa or somebody in their room. And it scares them because they don't understand it. Then when they get a few years older, then, they know that that's not acceptable in the world out there, and they kind of shut it down. You can't have your imaginary friend. Those things in the middle of the night are monsters and demons. No, they're not. I go to people's houses and they go, my house is haunted. No, it's just grandma checking in on you, trying to make noise, trying to get your attention. At least those are the ones I'm drawn to. That's the ones I've had experience with. So I think this one's just being ornery. I don't know if he's still this age, or if he was that age, like when that picture was taken. Because that's the time that he's gone back to show this. So like I said, I don't know if the little boy's just being ornery, or... So whoever has this child, you might want to pay attention to what he's muttering when he's, like when you walk by his room and he's playing and you go, who's he talking to? Did your dad smoke a cigar once in a while? Something besides a cigarette? He's shown himself all kicked back, and he's got what's bigger than a cigarette. And if he didn't, he can do it now, but... And you will smell that smoke, but it's not cigarette smoke. Oh, once again, I'm hearing Swisher Sweets, which are those little. Now, this does not look like a Swisher Sweet, but those are those, little cigar type things, and they come in flavors like grape and stuff like that, and they smell sweet. Oh, I hear they also use them as blunts. If you know what a blunt is. He's talking about a circus. A circus. A three-ring circus. So he's talking about a real circus, not like your life is a circus. A real circus with an elephant and clowns and popcorn. And then he mentions Howdy Doody. Howdy Doody was, I don't know how old you are, Howdy Doody was a cartoon thing back when I was young. Howdy Doody really doesn't relate to a circus, so not sure why he mentioned that. They don't waste a message. He mentions Captain and Coke. Then he goes, aye, matey. He's wanting to do you know what the Captain Morgan stance is? I don't know. I can't do it. My friends do it. Yeah, so-called friends. He's doing that. He's going, aye, matey. Your dad's a character. When I ask him how he passed, he puts his hands up to his chest. So he's putting his hand up to the heart area. I'm not saying it was his heart, but it was the heart area. He says the old ticker just gave out. He says, I have a halo now. He says, my daughter's going to love this. God, I hope so. And there's a lot of times when I do my readings, and I kind of drag my feet going, gosh, am I going to get this right? Am I going to be able to bring them through? Because asking for the exact one that you want to talk to and the exact questions you want answered is harder than just going, hey, whoever's out there, come on in. So sometimes it can be hard, but he's bright and shiny and bouncy and funny, and his energy's really strong and uplifting, and so he's good. He's good to go. And he says, and I never shut up. And some of them don't talk. And then I go, what are we going to talk about? We don't have this problem. He says, as far as raising your son, I've got this shit. And he's probably not physically doing this, but he shows coming up like from behind him and putting his hands on his shoulders and turning him. Nope, don't go that way. Turns him the other way. Nope, don't go that way. You need to go that way. He said he's going to try to influence him from his end. on how to be a good man. That he says, let him have his free spirit. And then he shows a boy actually falling face forward. He says, let him fall on his nose once in a while. He needs to learn those lessons. Stop babying him so much. He says, what? He says, let him make his mistakes, but always support him. He's watching him very close, very close. He feels no, I don't feel like there's any warning or danger, coming from your dad as far as your son. That he feels like everything's going to be cool. Typical kid, he says. He said, but he's not really listening to me. He says, just watch the girls that he hangs around. They're going to try to influence him to get off of his path. So try to encourage, this come from Dad, try to encourage him to be the stronger one of the two. Oh, I'm not going to say the word that he said. Yes, I am. I'm not scared. He says, say it again. I didn't hear the end of it. I'm going to say it. Tell him, try not to let the pussy influence his decisions. I couldn't hear the last word. And he says it again. Don't get caught up in the pussy. There's more out there. Hey, I'll repeat anything they say pretty much. It's their show. He said other than making poor decisions on things like that, he thinks he's going to be good to go. Okay, he's saying there needs to be more popcorn, hugs, and movies. And he's referring to something that I know because that's what my stepfather always said when one of his girls or I had major problems. He always said, you don't need any of that other stuff out there. What you need is more popcorn and hugs, which means more together time, more hugs, more family time, things like that. Probably didn't describe that right, but I knew what my stepdad meant. He says he knows that you miss him. He knows that you miss him. He's sorry. Ooh, somebody's insistent. Goodness. Okay, you hear that ding? There's two different dings. One's my phone, which I don't ever move my phone very far away because my mom just turned 89 yesterday. I'm sorry, I can't turn my stuff off. I'm afraid she's gonna have a problem. So, anyway, the dinging. You hear the dinging, dinging, dinging. This ding sounded different than that ding. So he's. This is a noise that you're going to hear, and I don't know what your Facebook and stuff sounds like when stuff comes in, or your phone. This is not a coincidence. Absolutely not a coincidence. So you will hear dings like that. Very similar to those, one of those or both. When you're walking through the store, when you're driving in your car, when you're even walking outside, it may not even be where you hear it in your ear. You'll hear it up here. So when you hear those, that's going to be a sign from your dad. Tell him you love him, tell him you understand that he's with you, and to bring you more. When you start acknowledging, I try to stress this with everybody, when you start acknowledging your signs, they're all trying to send you signs. They all want you to know that they're with you. Then it kind of starts flowing more. You get more because they love it, and he's going to be honoring. He says, okay, let's get serious. He says you think down on yourself too much. He says, but I'm coming from a dad standpoint. That he like wants to put you on a pedestal. He thinks you look down, you talk bad to yourself. I think we all do. He's, okay. He says, don't talk worse to yourself than you would your best friend. If your best friend had a problem, would you talk shit to her face and tell her she's a piece of shit and she's dumb? Or would you encourage her? He said that's the way he wants you to talk to yourself, like you are your own best friend. Or like you would talk to your best friend. Okay, he's done with the lecture. I don't think he can be serious very long. A very, very short. Of course, your dad in that picture, he seemed to be pretty tall. But if the lady that's walking up to him is like maybe not even to his armpit. I mean, that's the way he's showing her anyway. He might be exaggerating that, so I get the message that she's very short, elderly, has her hair fixed very nice. It's still that white, bluish, curly perm that I don't plan on doing that when I get a little older. The normal, but it's fixed nice. And they're making a big point of showing her with a necklace on. First I wanted to say pearls, but it seems like it has something on it. I can't quite, I need to see it clearer if that's important. It's important to decide who this is. He says grandma. Don't know if he means your grandma, his grandma, yet, anyway. He says everybody just called her grandma. Very lovely lady. It seems like very strong lady. Even for... he says she's small and mighty like a bulldog. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I should repeat some of this stuff. He just put his hand on my shoulder and he says, yes, you should. And behind her is a man her age, which could probably be her spouse. Behind him is a female. Wow, I don't know how to describe her. I can't quite feel the relationship. I think this is kind of distant, like maybe a great grandma or something. And usually I ask them not to bring them through because you don't know them. You don't know anything about them. Great grandma, or she's coming through. She has a big brimmed, kind of a straw type hat, but it's a dress hat. But she's got it cattywampus on her head, like it's fashionable to do this. It kind of reminds me like all the ladies at the Kentucky Derby. They all wear the fancy hats, and they're very dressy. She's not at the Kentucky Derby. She has a dress on. She's showing her necklace, and first I was going to say pearls, but they're big beads. They're big beads, but they're not pearls because they're different color. They're like, some of them look black and white kind of. She's carrying a handbag. White patent leather type belt. And I'm just describing these things because they're making a big point out of exaggerating. Okay, look at this purse. Okay, exaggerating. Look at this belt. So maybe you know this woman from a picture. If you don't personally know her, she's not large. She's pretty slim. But she's coming in with the stature that I want to say Queen Elizabeth. That stature, that dress like that, and the stature, and I can't really see her face, so I don't know if she looks like Queen Elizabeth. Maybe her name's Elizabeth. That could be why that came through. No nonsense. Didn't have your dad's sense of humor. So however she's related in this lineup, I'm not sure. But they wanted you to know that they were there with him. Okay, I haven't seen a dog for a while. Usually they bring their pets through or somebody else's pet through, and here comes one that looks brown, real short, slick hair, got a little bit of white. I would say a boxer type dog that is with them. And one of them said a horse, but they're not showing me the picture of the horse. I heard a horse is a horse. Uh-oh, it's a tongue twister. I'm screwed with my new teeth. A horse is a horse, of course. A horse is a horse. There's some rhyme from way back in the day like that. Or a little song, little ditty. Somebody's trying to sing the little ditty. Where's the horse? I think maybe Mr. Ed. See, they're referring to things that I know, and that's still way back. I don't know how old you are. That's still way back in my day when Mr. Ed, the talking horse. I think it might have been on that show. Oh, we got to get you some other signs besides some dinghy and some smoke. He said, it's just his attitude. He's back on your couch. He's kicked off to the side, like he puts one leg up. He's sitting on the end of the couch. One leg is on the couch, like kind of straight out. The other one's kind of on the floor. So he's kind of got his back to the armrest, kind of. he holds his hand out and he says, "Bring me my supper." And somebody brings him a plate and it's got pork chops and mashed potatoes. I think there's some kind of bread. I don't know if any of this is important, so I'm just going to tell you that. And he said the vegetable doesn't matter. He just plopped down and goes, "Bring me my supper." He says, "Yeah, go ahead and say it." My friend says, he tells his wife, "Get in the kitchen, bitch." It's kind of that attitude. Do it. Oh my goodness. Uh-oh. Now we got quiet. That's scary. It's usually about 30, 45 minutes. It seems like they fade out. He says, "Worry about where you're going, not where you've been." He says, "Look that way, not that way." And then and then it's like he trots around me. And he comes up to the front and he says, "I'm up here. I'm not back there. I'm up here. I'm still here. I'm still in front of you." And he says, "And I'll always be in front of you because you can't beat me. I'm faster than you." I'm sorry. I'm not making fun of the reading. I love your dad. Oh, he just hugged me, says he loves me too. He says, okay, he messes with your hair, and a lot of them do that because the hair is something easy for them to move. At least that's what I feel. So he kind of does. Ow! Now I just got poked in the ear, but it was more like with a pin, like a needle or something. So that's probably his energy. So you could feel like little pinpricks, or some really, you could get really hot from the energy. You could feel like needles sticking if the energy's strong. His energy's pretty strong. It could feel like bugs crawling, or goosebumps. I'm just not sure how it will affect you. Once again, tell him you realize it. Don't, if you just go like that and go, whatever. Acknowledge him. Tell him you love him. There's also a noise in your house, and it's like a door creaking, like. I'm sure I did a piss poor door creaking. It's like a door creaking, and you're going to hear that every so often in your house when he's trying to get your attention. He's acting like there's going to be a whole lot of other stuff going on because he thinks you're going to get a kick out of it. So don't be surprised if the lights flicker, the TV doesn't work for a little bit. Like one time, he's reminding me in my truck, you know how when you turn the key off, take the key out, you open the door, and the radio's still playing for a few minutes, at least in my truck. Open the door and the radio, everything quits. Mine wouldn't quit. Shut the door, open the door, shut the door, open the door. Oh crap, what am I going to do? The lights are on, the radio's on. Turn the truck on, turned off, turned on, turned off. So the next time I went through this for several minutes, thought, well, my battery's going to die before I come out of here. Went to my medium friend and she says, "Have a little trouble with your truck the other day?" And I go, "Yes." She said, "Well, that was Bob messing with your truck." So things like that, he's reminding me of that, so don't be surprised if those things happen. So before you take your vehicle to a mechanic or whatever's going on, or you think your clock is broke because it keeps doing weird things on the wall, give it a little time and see if your dad's doing it. He says TV. He's gonna don't take your TV to the shop or go buy a new one until you're sure it's not him. Okay, he says he's busted my chops long enough. He says, oh, I can feel his energy going down again. He says, bottom line, I love you. And I couldn't be more proud of you. And I love the things you said at the funeral after I passed. And don't forget to tell people those things before their funeral, not after. And he's not saying anything bad about you, what you said to him before or after or anything. He's not. He just wants you to make sure. Don't wait till they're gone. Say them now. He says, bottom line, he says, I can't. He says, there's no other words that I need besides, I love you. He says, from the bottom of my pea-picking heart, he's talking about his heart being like marshmallows. And he's skipping off. And he has a bunch of colored balloons in his hands. And not just different colors, but the, what are they called? Malamar or whatever they are, balloons, you know, that have different, like the happy birthdays or the Father's Days or the whatever things already on them. He's got a bunch of them in his hand. He's taking them with him as he's skipping off. And that little boy is watching him and waving goodbye. So he evidently, whoever this little boy was, he sees him. He does see him. He just chooses not to talk to him too often. Okay, he's gone. So I hope you enjoy. I hope you don't think I'm making fun of it. I just, he was a hoot. Oh my goodness, such a joy. So know that he's around. Know that he's going to do those things. Get a kick out of him, and tell him to bring you more. You'll have a blast with him even now. I promise. Much love to you, Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, and oracle card advisor. See you later.